Welcome to the Graveyard Shift. In this episode, we talk about human expansion into space and what could lie ahead for humanity. Thanks for listening. Well, let me ask you this first off. Have you heard of the James Webb Space Telescope? NASA's using it. And they're using it to get very detailed pictures of what's out there in space. Like, if you Google it right now and just go to James Webb Space Telescope, the pictures that you see look like paintings. You know what I mean? Because they zoom in so far, you can see the pixels, essentially, of the picture. But all of those dots, galaxies, essentially, that we can't even see. Like, you can't see inside the galaxy, obviously. But
Well, do you think that there's life like our planet in one of those galaxies?
do I think there's humans?
Humans or something that's as intelligent. I don't mean like microbes or, one-celled organisms. I mean, do you think that there is actually intelligent life out there somewhere else?
Yeah. I mean, there's uncontacted tribes in our world at the moment. You know what I mean? And they speak another language. I'm sure they have... Maybe they have technology that we don't understand. They use tools and things that we don't understand. So I assume it would just be like that. You know what I mean? Like, there's parts of the universe that we can't even comprehend or existing. Like, what we can capture with the James Webb Telescope is still only comparable to a grain of sand on a beach. Like, we don't have even close to all of the information to the universe, what's out there, what could be made. I mean, with all of the matter in the universe, humans came about and other life forms came about on Earth. Now, let's say that you want to go based off of, well, if there's any life, it has to be based off of an Earth planet. Okay. Still, with how much we know about the universe, you're going to tell me that that specific combination of matter and material isn't made again? You know?
Well, humans, everything that is on Earth is made out of space dust. So realistically, that space dust would wind up anywhere in space, right?
Right.
So do you think it would, because we would be made out of kind of like the same materials, do you think that they would have evolved the same as like humans? Do you think, or do you think that they would be a completely different species altogether? I guess with development of the species through the millions of years, it would be foolish to think that they would be exactly the same.
A small number of atoms have to form for some type of life to occur and adapt. You know, you're like, fish can swim in water. They don't need oxygen. Like, well, they use the oxygen from the water, but they live differently from us, and they get their life resource separately and differently from us. So why can't space be different? Why can't there be a fish in space, essentially, that lives off of whatever space provides? Or if there's a planet out there that provides resources like a super Earth, how NASA can find other planets. Like, they already found a so-called super Earth that has resources and materials that are similar to Earth that they can spot.
Mm-hmm. I think the only way would be a wormhole.
A wormhole.
Well, no, it's true. They're trying
to...
I'm not joking. Like, they're talking about how they can bend space so that they can travel further through space. It's an actual thing. And like you say, animal, fish in space, it could, it's all. I think everything is based on the evolution, right? Like, and evolution is such like, it's just a matter of if something decides to hunt off one type of creature, whether that is going to evolve into one type of species or not, or events that happen on the planet that cause that evolution.
How do we know a big space snake isn't going to come out and just eat our planet at any time?
It could totally come and eat our planet. I don't know why it would.
And we just have to watch. We just see it coming, and we just could do nothing.
Yeah, that's a little far-fetched, even for me, but
it's far-fetched for a space snake, but it's not far-fetched to think that our planet could just die at any moment from anything, you know what I mean? Or I don't know. That's why I think people who don't like the idea of space exploration and living on another planet just don't quite understand how much years the Earth has left. Like, let's say it does have hundreds to thousands of years left. I mean, you would still want humanity to continue after that, right? Like,
so that they could go and ruin another planet?
The goal shouldn't be to end humanity. Yeah, not ruin another planet, but let's say this planet was just...
But, that...
Who said we were the parasites, though? You know what I mean? Like, what if this is just how life is supposed to go? Like, our life is meant to end. So what if the resources that we are given are meant to end as well? Like, what if what if we aren't necessarily killing the Earth like we think we are? We're just using the resources up like it was supposed to. Like, yeah, we do some extra stuff that may not be too okay. Like, oh my god, my cat just jumped in my lap. That may not be too okay, like putting oil in water and stuff like that to speed up the process. I get that. But the natural way, even if we took care of our planet, like I said, and if it doesn't end in 12 years, and it ends rather in hundreds to thousands of years, and we find a way to make it succeed, the resources will just simply run out, even if we learn how to take care of it. So,
not if you're using renewable resources, which is where things are kind of going. Like, we're gonna have to switch over to having more solar and more, renewable resources rather than pulling coal out of the ground. And like, I don't think humans should be, just because we destroy our planet, like, should we be going to some other planet that has some kind of life and ruining that planet because we think that we're more worthy than whatever organisms are in whatever state of evolution? Like, their planet would evolve into some kind of evolutionary creature in their whatever millions or billions of years based on whatever stage of evolution that they are at. And do we have the right to actually change that on that planet just because we ruined ours?
That's under the assumption that the Earth ended because we ruined it.
Yeah.
Why can't we go to another planet because of the precaution that Earth is already going to die? Earth is already going to be burned up by the sun at some point. We have a volcano that's hundreds of years overdue and could explode at any moment.
I would love to live on another planet. I think it would be pretty amazing, actually. I would love to explore space. I think that's, the goal. I think that's the goal. But realistically, right now, what are we doing? Going to Pluto? There was an application for 2 people to go to Mars to create a habitat there and basically live out their life there. And they would send some pods there with supplies, but they would never ever be able to leave. So they had to be willing to stay there for the rest of their natural life.
That's what they're signing up for. It's what they want. Some people choose solitude in their life already, and some people just decided this solitude is going to be on another planet, and I'm going to be the start of a new generation. I'm going to be the start of a new chapter in humanity on another planet. Research, new career paths, new materials I'm sure we'll be able to use. Maybe new species. Who knows? You know, because we only know what's on the surface of Mars. Do we even know what's underground? You know? Like, we don't even know our own ocean. We only know like 7 or 11% of our own ocean, you know. What we find in the ocean next is pretty much already considered alien life. Like if we find a new squid, if we find a 7-foot long crocodile that can breathe underwater in deep sea conditions, it's considered alien because we've never seen it before and it's foreign to us. So thinking of an alien, I'd say isn't that hard, because when people think of an alien, they think of a movie and they think of like a humanoid type creature where they might look like a human, you know, like shoulders, a head, legs, torso type stuff. But it could just be like an insect. It could be bacteria that we find, and you know, they're starting their evolution as we started ours. Now, speaking of aliens, have you seen any of the just alien pictures, like actual alien recovery pictures?
Yes.
Well, the main one was the one in Mexico that they found that was like 1,000-year-old. There's a whole bunch of people like debunking it and saying like, oh, there's body parts where there shouldn't be, or there's a body part here but it's missing a joint or whatever. But I mean, I don't know. It's an alien. It's not going to be what we want it to be, and not to say that what we're looking at is even real, because I mean, you can't really trust anything these days. But it's not like UFOs aren't real. It's not like we haven't encountered technology we don't understand. You know, like the Air Force can encounter UFOs all the time, and they report it, and that's what comes up, and that's what they're now disclosing, like NASA or whoever else, like FBI or whoever discloses that type of information, that like recordings of things that they encounter. Like there was a video of a UFO that was pill shaped, and they saw it, and it was moving in speeds that matched like an F-15 carrier or whatever was following it and that was trying to follow it. It was matching the speeds, but it kept lifting and lowering its altitude at a speed that just wasn't possible. And then it simply zoomed off, you know, from the camera faster than they could comprehend. And there's videos of that happening. Mm-hmm. And similar UFO encounters and stuff like that, where, you know, military personnel will be like, I encountered this and I don't know what I saw.
Well, I also think there's just as many Sasquatch sightings. So does that mean, you know, are Sasquatches real then?
You can't. It's not even comparable.
It is
You
comparable.
are comparing Sasquatch as a media type information. You're pretty much comparing Google to like.
No,
I mean, that's what you're doing. You're comparing Google to government.
You know how many Sasquatch sightings there are? There's probably more Sasquatch sightings than there are UFO sightings.
No, that's okay. So with Sasquatch, has the government of the United States and or Canada confirmed and said, yes, this is a creature in which we do not understand and we have encountered multiple times, and we are currently looking at what it is and trying to learn more about it?
No, I guess. No.
Okay. So what you're explaining now is some people at a park that are like, hey, look, a thing moving. Let's take a picture with a 2008 camera while I'm shaking. And then they take a picture.
They're all bad
And then
pictures.
people are like, well, that's enough proof for me right there. I don't need anything else.
Funny story.
That's what you're explaining.
Yeah, I know. I have a funny story about that. had a friend who actually had a Sasquatch outfit, and he would go dress up as a Sasquatch and go by the highway so that, yeah, people would see him in his Sasquatch outfit. It's pretty funny. I wonder how many of the sightings were just of him.
Were him.
But he thought it was quite funny to go out in his Sasquatch outfit.
But the thing is, people find pictures of anything and they just want to cling on to the belief that a supernatural anything is real. Do you remember that picture that they took of like a cell phone tower in the distance, and it was like foggy, but it was tall and it looked like a big person? And so they took that as proof that it was a giant in like the Netherlands or something like that. Like they were like, what? This is proof. Like this is a giant person in the distance. Mm-hmm. Yeah, stuff like that. Like they wanted to believe in a giant, the Sasquatch, UFOs, alien life. Like, I'm not saying alien life is real, but I'm saying it's weird to think that it's not a possibility.
I think we're naive to believe that there isn't life. It's like a child thinking that everything in their world revolves around them. That'd be like us as a species believing that in the vastness of space that there isn't more life out there. Like, I think it's naive for us to even consider that, considering how far space goes. Like, is it infinite? Obviously there's life somewhere. I would imagine smarter than us, more advanced than us.
I would rather explore space and die in space than I would exploring the ocean and dying in the ocean.
Yeah, well, I'd rather just not die in either, but I guess either of them you're not going to escape from.
Well, if you choose to live your life there, or if you choose to... You can choose to live your life in one or the other. There's one person actually living in the sea right now, not necessarily living like a mermaid in the water, but he's living in a house pretty much that he built himself. He's rich, obviously, but he's living in the ocean, essentially. He hasn't left in 10 years, but he has like a team that brings down food for him, brings down fresh water, all this stuff. He has his own bathroom set up, and he's just living down there in the ocean, right? And they're already planning to do that on the moon. They're already planning to do that on Mars. So at some point it's going to become, maybe not in our lifetime, but at some point it's just going to become accessible. Mm-hmm. Who wants to live in the ocean rather than land? Who wants to live in space rather than on Earth? Who wants to live on Mars? You know, maybe Mars will be the rich Hollywood, bougie, you know, only the celebrities go there, and then Earth is where poverty lives, you know,
yeah.
Type, like.
Don't you think you'd get bored of it though? Like, if you think about it, you know, going to the moon or going to Mars or whatever, you get there and then it's like, all right, well, I have to live in this bubble because it's uninhabitable. I can't drive around and have fun. I guess golf would be fun, but you know, because
that's not true though, because it's under the assumption you're, I don't know, trapped there. You're there because you were able to get there, so you have the supplies to survive. So I'd assume you were there on a space program, which you have a suit to be livable outside of your own house, to get exercise, to fix tools that are outside. You know, they would give you some type of vehicle to traverse, you know, not just the spaceship.
Yeah, of course you'd have a space car, but how much, I don't know, I just can't imagine it being very interesting for long.
Well, that's because there's no consumerism there. There's nothing you can buy or watch. Like, you're exploring something no human has ever explored before. You can look at a map and see everything, everywhere and everything before you go do it. You can look at the very street and sidewalk you walk on to get there if you want to. You can't do that on the moon. If you find a cave and you want to go cave exploring, You know what I mean? Like it's not mapped out yet. If there's like a specific crater that hasn't been dug through, or you find an ore that hasn't been found on the moon, like just the ability to be able to find new materials, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's also silly to assume that everything in space can be found on Earth. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have every available material, you know, type rock material, bacteria, whatever it is. Like, we don't have every single thing the universe has to offer on this one planet.
Yeah.
There are other things to discover.
I think, going to Mars as opposed to going to the super Earth, like, I would love to go to the super Earth. That would be amazing.
But let's say we get to the super Earth and there is life there.
Mm-hmm.
What if there were dinosaurs still there on the super Earth?
Then it would be very short-lived exploration.
Right. What if it was just a hostile environment? What if there was life there that was so primitive though? It's just alien life. It's just a green tiger type thing. You know what I mean? Just things that we don't really understand. Like we can understand a green tiger, but it could just simply be a blob that's moving. Mm-hmm. We don't understand why it's moving, but it's just a piece of slime that's able to get its way around. Whatever it may be.
That we wouldn't be... Realistically, if you think about it, we are... Without our weapons, we are a pretty weak species. We don't have claws, we don't have teeth, we don't have... we have our brains.
Right, and it only takes a caveman brain to make a tool.
How are you gonna say if there's, obviously it's not gonna be exactly a T-Rex, but say if there was a T-Rex-like creature there, and with armor plating that doesn't let our weapons shoot through it, how are you gonna make a tool that's gonna save your life?
I mean, if you're cartoonishly in the middle of running from a dinosaur, no, you're not able to save your life. But if you have time to explore your surroundings and area, you could make something. I don't know, like you can make a tool out of. If you're there with nothing, if you just somehow spawn on that planet with nothing.
I'm
it's
saying
just exploration.
even
you just
with
have to explore your way around.
Tools that we have, like, obviously they're not going to bring nukes with them, but say with the weapons that they have now, and you show up there fully equipped, even then, I don't know how you would be able to survive on a dinosaur planet.
I think a flashbang to the eyes could really do a T-Rex dirty.
Yeah.
Maybe a gun wouldn't do much damage, but certain equipment, like I said, a flashbang, explosives, maybe even like sedation, like medicine, like one of those, you can use chemical warfare, mustard gas, like, I don't know, we could fight off certain primitive alien life, but something that's able to travel to our planet already, we got nothing.
Yeah. And so do you think that we should be going and using all of these things to further our space? Like say if we did make it to the super moon or super Earth, and do you think disrupting their natural evolution on their planet is something that we just deserve to do, or that we should do?
It's a resource, as Earth is a resource.
Yeah, but
so why not let that planet be a resource?
But does it not already belong to whatever creatures are there? Why do we...
If it belongs to an intelligent life form, I'd understand. And if we're going to go there to destroy it, I understand. But if we're only going there to snag certain resources, and honestly, if you wanted to be efficient about it, we would plant again. Like if we took 3,000 trees from this super Earth to make equipment to go wherever, we would just have to give back to it.
Mm-hmm.
We can't just use it and ruin it and leave it. We can't do that. We have to heal it. We have to recover whatever damage we do to it if we do damage. But I think it's okay to use a resource if it's there. Let's say you want to use the religious route, right? Why would a god create that planet similar to Earth and have all of its resources similar to Earth if it wasn't meant for humans?
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe it wasn't meant for humans because it was so far away, right? Like,
yeah.
But I just don't think that we should be messing with the evolution of a different planet, even if we can get there. Like, it is their evolution. If we go there,
so do you think an
mustard
alien
gas
life
and nukes and friggin' fire like to protect ourselves, and we kill off different species that possibly could have evolved into a completely different, like, I don't know if we should be doing that.
So if an alien life form came to us, another intelligent life, and communicated to us clearly, we are in need of this specific resource. We can trade, or we can replant, we can help you out, just make some type of trade with that life form. Then are they wrong to come and explore and to come to us? Maybe, let's say there is intelligent life there, like I'm saying, like, are we wrong to go there and ask for a resource and to ask for help, ask for technological advancements, as we could provide some to them that they might not have?
That's different.
It's kind of like it's not different though, because it's like a country to country thing. You know what I mean? Like at that point it would just be two different populations trying to make something work. But if it's something primitive, like a primitive life form, we could still do it, but we just have to give back to it. Just won't be necessarily a trade like,
I just
we're going to buy this from you.
That's human
it's
nature.
Just gonna... So what is human nature besides expansion and colonization?
Well, I think human nature is violent. So realistically, I think humans, the people that are in charge would take what they want. And I'm just saying, if there is other life there, then, if we were to trade, sure, why not? But to go in, as you had stated before, using the mustard gas and flashbangs and killing things in order to get these resources that we want or need, I don't think that that's the way to do it. If we found another species that we wanted to trade with and collaborate with, then sure, by all means. But I don't think that we have the right to just take, is what I'm saying.
How did humans get this far if we couldn't do what we had to do? Like none of us would be alive. We wouldn't have the technological advancements. We wouldn't have houses, cars, streets, pets, whatever, marriage. We wouldn't have any of that. We wouldn't have the population we might not even make it to be alive if we didn't think of ourselves. We started with a small population, right? Humanity started with a small population. Should they have just died then and there, just killed themselves, or just let their lives burn out and die there? Or should they have expanded and tried to survive, tried to eat, make shelter for themselves, expand to see what else that they could use to their advantage, to learn about their environment, to personally grow themselves, to see what they can, to use to their advantage. Like,
yeah, but that's
kind of what I see it as. That is on our planet. That's on our planet, but at some point they had to cross a river.
Yeah, no, they did. And and they killed other species like the Neanderthals, and they killed out all the weaker species of humanoid. And yes, we did that with violence, for sure.
Well, it was violence or it was die.
Yeah.
It was either we get eaten by this 8-foot tiger with 3-foot long teeth, or I get this spear and put it in its neck.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a natural decision to defend yourself.
Yes, of course.
You know what I mean? If I was out in the wild and I was sitting there hiking and 2 wolves came up to me and just wanted to kill me, I wouldn't be like, oh, well, I am invading its space, so...
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would be like, oh, well, I'm in danger. I'm just here to be. I'm here to exist. Why am I now being threatened? Why is my life now being threatened? In order to survive,
Mm-hmm.
you have to defend yourself. You have to do that. I agree. You shouldn't, go there to kill. You shouldn't go to hunt if you have what you need.
Yeah.
Our main goal shouldn't be to kill if we went to another planet. It should be to nothing harmful.
Mm-hmm.
But if our life is threatened,
Yeah.
not that we should go out and hunt, but it is available to us, and I think space is that river,
Mm-hmm.
That they had to cross at some point. Because if they just stuck to their one island and used their own technology, humanity would still be nothing.
Mm-hmm. So
At some point, their resources are going to run out. Their technology is going to run out. Their island is going to get, destroyed by the waves. Something could happen. They had to move on.
yeah. So you don't think that our space exploration would be kind of more like Avatar? Because that's kind of how I picture it.
You picture Avatar creatures?
No. I mean, Avatar. So, say if there was
humans versus Avatar, the plot.
Yeah, basically that they come in, they decide, oh, there's a resource there that we need that's worth so much money, and it's all capitalism, right? It's what, if there's enough money involved, would they then deem taking out life that's on another planet because it's not as evolved as them?
Well, that's the consumerism. That's the thing that we're trying to fight against here, and it shouldn't be used for that. It shouldn't be used as it being expensive. It should just be used for research.
Yeah.
Whoever found it, whoever gets it, brings it back. They look into it, they research it, see what technologies they should use. It shouldn't be the newest gem on the iPhone, though. You know what I mean? It shouldn't.
But that's what
it
it would
shouldn't
turn
be used
into.
like that.
It would, because that's just what humans do. That's human nature.
Only if it had some benefit, though. If it had some technological advancement that we could use with it, if it gave us whatever 6G would be. You know what I mean? If that ore that we invest in, and then it gets us this technological advancement that we can now do something that we haven't ever been able to do before, that this one thing gave us. I don't know. To me, when people say that, it's like saying that we don't deserve technological advancements because we can't find anything else on another planet. Our only other option is to die out while we wait for a meteor to hit us, maybe survive, and see what it has.
Mm-hmm. So,
a care package space randomly drops for us that we have to survive.
Yeah. But you're saying that we should take it if it's something that advances humans. If it advances our planet or gives us something better, like 6G. So in Avatar, they had the rare superconductor, which was called, what is it, unobtainium? And unobtainium. Because Earth was resource starved. So basically, we had already mined everything off on Earth, and then they went to another planet to take, because we need, right? That's what it all comes down to, more resources. And so then, if there is an inferior type of creature, like one that we determine isn't as smart as us, or not as important as us, then should we be able to just destroy their habitat to take these minerals that we need to survive?
Well, then it's just a morality question of what type of life we deem as more valuable. Alien life or our own humanity. And I mean, I feel like it's an obvious question that humanity is here for a reason, right? Like, why not keep going? I don't know. Like, if there's a war between aliens and humans, it would be dumb to assume that humans should just give up because aliens, have space. Not that we shouldn't defend ourselves, but I mean, if we lost, we lost. We're dead. There's no more humans. There's just nothing left for humanity, and that's just the end.
Yeah.
So it just makes sense that humanity would live on, that humanity would attempt to live on,
Hey, thanks for joining us on the Graveyard Shift, part of the Undead Gaming world. This has been Doza and KillerChick coming at you, and hopefully giving you some insight into our views and something to think about. We appreciate you being here. If you want only podcast content, then hop on over to the Graveyard Shift YouTube channel, or stick around on Doza's YouTube channel, and make sure to like and share. Until next time, signing off.